everyone, and welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty special.
Oh.
It's 10 stories of kindness that are flourishing on X.
Oh.
And they're all curated in this collection called Heartbeat Celebrating Human Connection. 10 Stories of Kindness.
Sounds, heartwarming.
Yeah, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to explore what these stories reveal about human connection.
Okay.
Especially, in our increasingly digital world.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But before we even jump in, I want you to think about a time that someone showed you kindness.
Okay.
Big or small.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that feeling in mind as we unpack these stories.
I like that.
We'll circle back to your experience a little bit later.
Yeah.
Now, one story that immediately caught my eye
Okay.
when I was reading through this was about a book fairy leaving free reads around town.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Sounds fun.
before we get there,
Okay.
let's start with something that seems really simple. There's this user at Kindness is Free, and they spotted a single mom who was struggling at a cafe,
Mm-hmm.
and they paid for her meal.
Okay.
And they left a note saying, "You're doing a great job. Keep smiling."
Oh.
Do we think a small act like that can really have a lasting impact?
Well, it's tempting to think of something like that as fleeting, right? But think about it. If you're that mom and you're already feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders,
Yeah.
that unexpected kindness is like this burst of light in
Yeah.
your day. It's this reminder that somebody sees you, acknowledges your struggles, and is rooting for you. And that can shift your whole perspective, even if just for a little while.
That's such a good point because it's like a little validation when you least expect it,
Yeah.
reminding you you're not alone.
Exactly.
It's making me think about how sometimes it's not even about the material thing, but the message
Yeah.
that's behind it,
Right. Absolutely. And that message can be amplified when we look at this other user on X, at Barber for Good.
Okay.
He uses his day off to give free haircuts to the homeless.
Oh, wow.
Now, we might think, okay, a haircut's nice,
Yeah.
but Heartbeat describes this as restoring dignity. How does that connect to something as practical as a haircut?
Well, imagine not being able to afford even basic grooming,
Right.
feeling invisible
Yeah.
in society.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly someone's taking the time to make you look and feel your best.
Yeah.
It's like a powerful affirmation of worth.
It is, and there's research on the psychology of appearance, too.
Oh, really?
Feeling presentable can boost self-esteem and confidence, which can then have ripple effects in other areas of life.
So it's like that haircut becomes like a catalyst
Yeah.
for positive change.
Exactly.
Wow.
Now let's switch gears a little bit to community support.
Go.
The story of Sick at Green Thumbs Up and their elderly neighbor getting a garden from the community really warmed my heart.
This one stood out to me, too.
Yeah. It's a classic feel-good story.
Mm.
But what's really striking is the impact. It's not just about the fresh veggies.
Right. Heartbeat points out that the garden provides both food and connection.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to a basic human need for purpose and belonging, especially as we age.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of some studies that I read showing how gardening itself can improve mental and physical well-being.
It's fascinating how these seemingly simple acts of kindness
Yeah.
can have such profound consequences.
Right.
We often think about grand gestures,
Mm.
but maybe it's these everyday acts that truly make a difference.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
It's about being present in our communities,
Yeah.
noticing those small opportunities
Yeah.
to lend a hand.
Yeah.
Speaking of noticing opportunities,
Okay.
the story of At Lost But Found really impressed me.
Yeah.
They didn't just find a wallet and turn it in.
Yeah.
They went above and beyond to track down the owner.
It's such a classic dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Most of us would probably just drop it in a mailbox.
Be done with it.
Totally.
But they used social media to find the owner,
Oh.
and they even deliver it to their doorstep.
That's amazing.
Talk about going the extra mile.
I know. That effort speaks volumes. It's
Yeah.
a testament to their character and their belief in the good in people.
Mhm.
They could have easily assumed the worst, but they chose to trust and act with kindness.
And that's what makes the story so powerful.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we can choose to see the best in people, even in situations where it will be so easy to be cynical.
Right.
Plus, that video reaction from the owner,
Oh, yeah.
pure joy.
I know.
So contagious.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the magic of the book fairy, or as they're known on X, at Read, Share, Love.
Okay.
Leaving books in public with notes, encouraging people to read and pass them on.
Mm-hmm.
It just sparks joy, doesn't it?
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It's like finding buried treasure.
Yeah.
A little gift from the universe
Yeah.
to brighten your day,
Mm-hmm.
ignite your imagination.
Yeah.
I love that they're not just giving away books.
Right.
They're cultivating a love of reading
Yeah.
and fostering a sense of community around it.
And think about the impact beyond that one reader.
Yeah.
Someone might pick up that book who wouldn't normally read, or it could inspire someone to start their own book sharing initiative.
Right.
It's a beautiful example of how one person's act of kindness can create this ripple effect, spreading positivity far and wide.
Okay, so we've seen how kindness can come in many forms,
Yeah.
from a note of encouragement to a community garden
Right.
to a free haircut.
Mm-hmm.
But what about those moments when we need a little help ourselves?
Oh, yeah.
Like the story of at Help on Wheels, giving that student a ride home after they missed the bus.
Oh, that story really resonates with me
And,
because it highlights the importance of being present and available for others, even in seemingly small ways.
Yeah.
Imagine that student's relief.
Right. It's a reminder that sometimes the most impactful acts of kindness
Yeah.
are those that address a specific need at a specific moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being aware of our surroundings and being willing to step up when we see someone struggling.
And sometimes that help comes from the most unexpected places, even anonymously.
Right.
Remember the story of at Secret Santa and the struggling bookstore?
Oh, how could I forget? That anonymous donation was like something out of a movie.
Mm.
It wasn't just about the money.
Yeah.
It was the message behind it.
Right.
For the love of reading.
Ah.
Talk about an act that speaks to the heart.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it sparked this whole movement on X to support local businesses.
Wow.
People were inspired to pay it forward,
Yeah.
demonstrating the contagious nature of generosity and the power of collective action.
It's incredible how one act of kindness can ignite a chain reaction of positivity.
Yeah.
Speaking of inspiring action.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a kindness bucket list?
Ooh, have.
Bucket of Kindness actually made one.
It's such a creative way to challenge yourself to be more intentional about kindness. Yeah. And I love that they included things like helping an elderly man fix his bicycle.
Oh,
It's not just about checking things off a list.
Right.
It's about making genuine connections with people.
I'm already thinking about what I would put on my kindness bucket list.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe offer to walk my neighbor's dog or bake cookies for the local fire station.
That's nice.
The possibilities are endless.
Exactly. And it's a great way to get creative and think outside the box when it comes to expressing kindness.
Speaking of thinking outside the box, the story of at Education for All and their school supplies drive that went viral on X
Yeah.
really showcases the power of collective action.
It's a fantastic example of how technology can amplify our capacity for good.
Right.
Think about the impact this had on students from underprivileged backgrounds.
Yeah.
They were able to start the school year with the tools they needed to succeed, all thanks to the kindness of strangers who connected through X.
It's a testament to the fact that when people come together for a common good, even small contributions can make a significant difference.
Right.
And finally, we have at Community Kitchen, highlighting the work of chefs from closing restaurants who are cooking meals for the homeless.
What struck me about this story is that it's not just about providing food.
Yeah.
It's about offering companionship
Mm-hmm.
and creating a sense of inclusivity.
Right.
Those photos of people sharing a meal and enjoying each other's company are truly heartwarming.
It's a powerful reminder that everyone deserves to feel a sense of belonging
Yeah.
and that acts of kindness can help bridge social divides.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the shared humanity that connects us all, regardless of our circumstances.
Wow, we've already covered so much ground and we're just getting started.
I know. These stories from X offer such a rich tapestry of human connection.
Yeah,
It's inspiring to see how kindness is flourishing in the digital age.
it really is. And before we move on to unpack some of the bigger themes from Heartbeat Celebrating Human Connection,
Okay.
I want to pause and ask you, what's standing out to you so far?
Oh.
Which stories resonated the most?
It's hard to choose just one, but that image of the man seeing his reflection after the barber's visit,
Oh, yeah.
it's just, it's a powerful reminder of how a seemingly small act can have a profound impact on someone's sense of self-worth.
I agree. That one really sticks with you.
Yeah.
It also makes me think about the ripple effect we see in so many of these stories,
Right.
like the book fairy.
Yeah.
One person's actions inspiring countless others to share the joy of reading.
Mm-hmm.
Heartbeat talks about this, too.
Okay.
How kindness seems contagious.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a real phenomena or just a feel-good notion?
I think think there's a real psychological basis for it.
Okay.
When we witness acts of kindness, it activates the reward centers in our brains, releasing those feel-good hormones like dopamine and oxytocin.
Oh, wow.
This creates a positive feedback loop,
Okay.
making us more likely to engage in pro-social behavior ourselves.
So it's like kindness is literally addictive.
In a way, yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about those anonymous acts of kindness, like the Secret Santa donation.
Yeah.
They weren't looking for recognition just to make a difference.
Right.
Heartbeat points out how many acts probably go unnoticed.
Yeah.
Is there something special about anonymous kindness?
There's a purity to it, isn't there?
Yeah.
It suggests a deeper motivation, a genuine desire to contribute without seeking anything in return.
Yeah.
You know, it challenges us to examine our own motivations.
Okay.
Are we acting out of genuine compassion or a desire for recognition?
That's a great question for self-reflection.
Yeah.
And it leads to something that's been on my mind throughout this whole deep dive.
Okay.
The role of technology.
Right.
Can it really be a force for good, or is that just wishful thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Heartbeat grapples with this too.
Yeah, it's a complex question.
Yeah.
And honestly, one that's debated constantly.
Right.
On one hand, we see the potential for negativity and division online. But these stories found on X itself show us that technology can also be a powerful tool for connection and community building.
It's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be used to spread hate
Right.
or to amplify acts of kindness, connect people across vast distances,
Yeah.
and mobilize communities for positive change.
Exactly. Think about the school supplies drive that went viral.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been possible without social media.
Right.
Technology gave that act of kindness wings, allowing it to reach and impact countless lives.
It's almost like technology is a magnifier.
Yeah.
It can amplify our worst impulses,
Right.
but it can also amplify our capacity for good. It all comes down to how we choose to use it.
I couldn't agree more. It's a powerful reminder that we're not passive consumers of technology.
Right.
They're active participants who shape its impact on the world.
Yeah.
We have a responsibility to use it wisely and intentionally.
So as we navigate this digital landscape,
Mm.
maybe the key is to be more mindful of the content we consume and create. Let's use it to uplift and inspire to spread kindness and connection, just like those inspiring individuals we've been discussing.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the power of sharing our own stories.
Okay.
Heartbeat encourages us to use the hashtag #AWFO for the people to keep the conversation going,
Okay.
to build a community around kindness and show that even in the digital age, human connection thrives.
Yeah.
What small act of kindness have you been thinking about committing to?
You know, all these stories about helping strangers have been inspiring,
Yeah.
but it's also made me realize I've been neglecting those closest to me. So I'm committing to calling my grandparents more regularly. They always light up when I call.
Yeah.
And I know it means the world to them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most meaningful acts of kindness are those we extend to the people we love most.
Yeah.
Simple yet profound.
And they say sharing is caring.
Yeah.
So I challenge our listeners to join us. What act of kindness will you commit to today? Share your story using hashtag #AVOR for the people. And let's create a wave of positivity online.
I love that. It's a great way to inspire each other and build momentum for a kinder, more connected world.
Yeah.
And if hearing these stories has left you craving more inspiring content, be sure to subscribe to The Deep Dive.
Yeah.
We're always exploring new topics and uncovering those hidden gems of human connection.
Exactly. We love to go deep, but in a way that leaves you feeling hopeful and ready to embrace the world,
Yeah.
not overwhelmed.
That's the goal. Now, before we wrap up,
Okay.
Heartbeat leaves us with this powerful question to ponder.
Okay.
In a world that often feels divided, how can we cultivate more kindness and connection in our everyday lives?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
But as we've seen from these stories, it doesn't always require grand gestures.
Right.
It can be those small everyday moments where we choose empathy over apathy,
Right.
where we reach out instead of turning away.
Right. I agree. It's about being present, being intentional, and making a conscious effort to cultivate kindness in our thoughts, words, and actions.
It's about choosing to see that spark of goodness
Yeah.
in every person we encounter, recognizing that we're all interconnected.
Yeah.
And our actions, however small, have the power to make a difference.
Beautifully put. It's a reminder that kindness is not a passive trait.
Yeah,
It's an active choice we make each and every day.
right.
And those choices collectively have the power to shape the world we live in.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Heartbeat celebrating human connection. Let's carry that inspiration with us.
Yes.
Let's be the change we want to see in the world. Let's make kindness the norm, not the exception.
Yeah.
And let's never underestimate the power of human connection to heal, uplift, and transform.
It's been such an inspiring conversation, hasn't it? These stories really highlight the power of human connection. I think it's easy to get caught up in the negativity that often surrounds us, but Heartbeat offers a powerful reminder that there's so much good in the world if we just open our eyes to see it.
I couldn't agree more. It's like we've been given this glimpse into a secret garden of kindness.
Yeah.
This place where compassion and empathy bloom in the most unexpected places. And what I find so encouraging is that these stories aren't isolated incidents.
Right.
They're happening all around us every single day.
Exactly. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, our innate capacity for kindness and connection.
Right.
And what's even more remarkable is that these acts of kindness are often initiated by everyday people,
Right.
not celebrities or influencers.
Right.
It's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference, no matter how small our actions may seem.
I love that. It's like we're all part of this giant tapestry.
Yeah.
And each act of kindness is a thread that adds to its beauty and strength.
Right.
And even though we might not always see the full picture,
Yeah.
every thread matters.
What a beautiful analogy.
Thanks.
And I think that's a really important point to remember.
Yeah.
We might not always see the immediate impact of our actions,
Right.
but that doesn't mean they're not making a difference. Kindness has a way of rippling outwards,
Yeah.
touching lives in ways we may never fully comprehend.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Heartbeat celebrating human connection,
Yeah.
what's the one takeaway you hope our listeners will carry with them?
I hope they'll remember that kindness is not a finite resource.
But-
It's something we can cultivate and share abundantly.
Yeah.
It's a choice we make every day, in every interaction.
Right.
And those choices collectively have the power to create a more compassionate, connected, and joyful world.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your final thought for our listeners?
I think you summed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Let's choose kindness not just today, but every day.
Yes.
Let's be the ripple that spreads outward,
Mm-hmm.
creating waves of positivity that touch the lives of those around us.
Yep.
And remember, if you're feeling inspired to share your own story of kindness, use the hashtag #A4ThePeople,
Okay.
and join the global community of heart-centered individuals who are making the world a brighter place, one act of kindness at a time.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure diving deep into Heartbeat with you.
Likewise,
Until next time, keep those heartbeats strong.
and keep spreading that kindness. Thanks for listening.